Thanks guys for being here for this second live. First one was just a Q&A about about me, why I decided to start my YouTube channel, about my bucket list and what was pushing me to do those videos since I started in January. Now you also know that it's not just about my bucket list, but about the bucket list of other people. And I'm glad to see Crazy Dad plugged in with us today. So we are going to raise, we are raising actually some money. We're at like 60% of the target on the GoFundMe page to yeah, get Crazy Dad Craig his album recorded in a studio in London. So we talked with Craig. It will be probably in November. So how to reach your dreams, how to tick off your items from your bucket list. Since you know the story, since I lost my friend and had like quite a few things happening last year in my life, I'm like, okay, I want to tick off more items from my bucket list and I want to reach my dreams. I want to, experience more, share more, all this stuff. The thing is, you can't, it's not just having the idea, it's also making it happening. And in order for your dreams to um, manifest themselves, in order for you to reach this new career or this new getting better at this new hobby, you need to learn. And sometimes you need to educate yourself, whether it's traveling, you know, how do I get there and what do I have to, what should I go to see, to visit, etc. Or if you want to create a new business, a new career, where to start. Because we always have big ideas, but when we look at everything we have to do, sometimes it can be really demotivating. So I'm gonna switch. I did a little PowerPoint for you. Gosh, it reminds me of my business school. I went to a business school and I had to do these type of things. So wait, I'm a bit lost on my OBS thing. Where is it? Where are, sorry, give me a sec. Okay, it's here. So let's switch to how to educate yourself. Now there's a lot of things you can do online and offline to learn new skills, to get more informations and this knowledge that you need in order to start your career or in order to get better at a certain hobby, get new skills. And this is what I will be covering today in this live. I will check a little bit the chat, but I will go back after every section. It's not long; it's just like a 4 pages PowerPoint, so don't get too worried about that. Just checking a little bit before starting. Loving a crowd, and people exchanging. Perfect. So I went to. There you go. So teach yourself anything. Sorry, I wasn't on the right page. So how to stay motivated when you want to learn new things, when you want to educate yourself. The first point is to make sure that you're having fun. Like there's no point trying to learn something if you don't enjoy learning, if you don't like what you're doing, what you're trying to learn. Like you just can like stop now because you're gonna give up down the line. So there's no point trying to start a new career, a new job, or learn more about a certain hobby, certain skills, if you're not enjoying doing it. That's one of the main thing, especially if I take my example. I enjoy doing videos right now. I've been learning so much since I started in November. And I was talking earlier on Instagram with Lisa, and we're saying about how steep the learning curve is. You have to learn about the editing software. So for me, it's Adobe Premiere, which is one of the software used to do those, films, The Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or all this stuff. They use this type of software. So it's the learning curve is really, really steep on these tools. Photoshop, but also on marketing, on how to promote your videos, on SEO. There's so many things to YouTube, behind YouTube, that you guys don't necessarily see unless you're a YouTuber, and then you know exactly what I am talking about. But it goes, it is the same for everything. If you want to start a flower business, you have to learn the thing you absolutely have to do, whether it is legally or how to do it properly, how to find, where to find the providers. anything you want to start, there's things to learn, whether it is practical skills, legal, just organizing yourself. There's a lot of things to learn, and if you don't like what you're doing, then again, don't start. The second is to set yourself an objective. Why do you want to learn new stuff? Why do you want to get better at this hobby, or get new skills, learn how to use Adobe Premiere if you're not about to post something somewhere, whether it is for a client, doing a videos for a client, or posting on YouTube, or doing something for, I don't know, something, a project for your family. Maybe your grandfather has his birthday and you want to do like an awesome video for him that is going to be completely private, but you will need to learn those skills. You need an objective. Whatever you want to start, whatever you want to do, you need this objective, and having fun and having an objective will make sure that you stay motivated along the way. Third point, which is kind of optional, but I think I thought I would add that on this slide, is to surround yourself with knowledgeable people. Because if you surround yourself with people who do have the knowledge, who know more than you, and you exchange with them, then this is also a way to keep you entertained, to keep you motivated. Exchanging with those people will bring you more knowledge, and the more you know, the more you want to know. It's kind of like a vicious loop, if I can say. So surround yourself with people who know more than you, so you can learn from them, and you get excited about knowing more, and yeah, and you stay motivated. So how to educate yourself? There is different ways. Some are pretty obvious, and some of you, I'm pretty sure you've been using those. Some others are maybe a bit less obvious. I'm going to start with the really obvious one. So watch, listen, and read. So obviously I had to start with this one. YouTube tutorials. Yeah, for some of you who watched this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So YouTube tutorials, now you can watch everything. You can learn everything on YouTube. Whether it is like last time I had an issue actually with my washing machine, and I found how to fix it on YouTube. How to do a bow tie, and again, I'm taking the same examples that I did in one of my video where I was kind of like mocking the tutorials, but it's actually so true. I learned, let's say, 50%, 50 to 60% of what I know on editing and taking pictures and filming through YouTube. So YouTube today is giving you the right tools for you to extend your knowledge and get better at what you want to do. So again, it's not just about YouTube, but there's a lot of videos about economics, a lot of videos about mathematics. The other day I found a channel about science. A guy was explaining everything in chemistry and physics and all this stuff. Really interesting. So there's pretty much a channel for everything. And just a message for you, Crazy Dad, that could be another thing you could do, maybe on a separate channel, giving piano lessons. It's something I'm sure you would have an audience for. So maybe it's something to think of. But yeah, YouTube tutorials today, again, you can find everything. I also found tutorials on how to write a book, on how to paint, on how to draw, how to do origami, how to do pretty much everything. Again, tutorials on YouTube is so powerful. Second one, books, obvious. And my mom will tell me, oh, you haven't read enough when you were a kid. And she was so right, actually. Yeah, I do admit it now. But books is super important. I am educating myself currently on everything that is YouTube. So I started with this book. I'm going to switch back to this view. I started with this book when I had my idea about YouTube. And the thing is, I didn't know where to start. This book is really good. I talked about it in quite a few of my videos, and I put the link in the description if you guys want to go and grab it. I really liked it. It's not the only book about how to manifest your ideas, but how to manifest your dreams. But in this book, which is written by a British author, I think, technically the guy is leading you from the moment you've got an idea to actually how to act on it. And at the very end of it, he gives like a lot of tips about where to find everything, whether it is to find a company to do your your SEO, your website, which website to use for yourself. There's tons of tips in this book. I do recommend it. It's really good. That was the first one I was reading, and then step by step I was increasing the number of books I was reading. The second one is this one that some of you maybe have read, The YouTube Secrets. It's done by Sean Cannell and Benji Travis, which those guys have a YouTube channel called Think Media, which is super interesting, and video influencer. They actually have two of them, and again they go through everything you have to know about YouTube. So this is in my case, right? I had to learn new stuff. I'm working in finance, so YouTube, shooting, videos and stuff, I had no idea how to do that. Like, okay, obviously I knew how to use a camera, um, but that's pretty it. Like, I had no idea what was white balance and shutter speed and all this stuff. I had to learn about everything. So and of course YouTube. So this one was for YouTube. I've got another one about photography and how to film that I actually haven't next to me. I forgot about this one. And now I am reading this one, the SEO and how to get better at SEO. Again, tons of information in it. So books, you've got it. I'm not going to talk about all the books I've read, but you got it. It is super important. Let me read a little bit before going to the next. So, uh, networking lives, tutorials. Yeah, I got my painting tutorials. Yeah, see, so Genevieve is using painting tutorials to get better at painting. So I'm sure that you're actually learning a lot. And if there are like other people who like the tutorials, make sure to like write down the reference in the chat for people who want to get better at it. Put the and then so Lisa is saying not a fan of Sean Cannell, but the book is probably good. The book is really good. I read it 1.5 times. First first time was I fully read it, and then the other half is technically every time I forget something, I just like go back into it, and there's a lot of information. I do recommend it actually. There's a lot of like good thing, especially when you're starting. Maybe not at this point, you probably know quite a few things already, but he's a bit arrogant for me. Yeah, it's true. But he's doing pretty well. So, and he's knowledgeable, I think. Anyway, let's move on to the next part, which is kind of like linked to books, but the new generation, our generation, we're used to it. I've been consuming a few audiobooks. There's more and more people doing that. If you don't have time to read books, if you're traveling often, let's say you're commuting to go to work, and you hate reading, right? When I was younger, and my mom knows that when I was younger, I just like hated it. I just hated like opening a book. I didn't, I wasn't patient enough maybe to read. So audiobooks is a great way to also, instead of wasting time just looking at the landscape when you're taking a train, put an audiobook on, and you'll technically have the same information than in a book. Amazon is doing that more and more. So all the books that they are selling now on Amazon, you've got them in an audiobook format. So this is also something to consider if you want to learn. Podcasts. So for those of you who do not know what a podcast is, it means that you're maybe not from the same generation as me. Anyway, so podcast is technically people who are going to do a live video or just an audio where they're going to speak for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, more than that sometimes, and they're going to talk about a topic, a specific topic. So the person who is organizing the podcast is receiving new hosts every time to address a different topic every time. So whether it is about specific business related topics or something that is concerns like arts and culture or whatever. I found on the internet, I'm gonna try to put the relevant page. I found this page on the internet. So let me go back to this view. Yep, yep, yep. struggling. There you go. So I found on the internet, and I just had to write on Google podcasts, and there's a list of all the podcasts that you can find on the internet. So this is history podcasts. There's like few links, but then if you scroll down, there's like self-improvement podcast, and this guy Tim Ferriss is actually quite well known. He interviewed like a lot of people about for example, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or like some other like really like famous people and influencers, whatever you want to call them, to talk about how they are now successful, what did they do, how did they organize and structure their lives, what was the winning points of their lives, etc. So there's a lot of like good things to listen to when you're if you're going to watch and listen to this Tim Ferriss show. It is I listened to like one or two of them, um, but it's like good quality. So he's quite famous in this podcast industry. The College Info Geek podcast is more about college info geek, how to get more productive, become better at your job, etc. Then you scroll, and there's another section, Money Podcast, how to make more money, manage your money better, invest in a more wisely way, etc. Art and culture and society podcast. There's a lot of different podcasts depending on whatever you want to learn. I do recommend to listen to a few of them, especially the one which are in your industry. I think this is good. Eric Neal, hello. Hey mate. Well, thanks for plugging in anyway. Uh, yeah. So yeah, going back to the next slide. Sorry, I've got too many screens here. Cool. So that was the podcasts. Next one is TED Talks. So why did I put that? It's kind of like a podcast. It's a bit different. TED Talks, again, I talked about it last time. TED Talks is technically people who are coming to on stage to talk about their experience, something they went through, whether it was a challenge, whether it was a rough part of their lives, they went through cancer or something like that, and they just come on stage to talk about this experience and how they did to manage this tough situation, or this situation where they learned a lot, and what did they learn. I find TED Talks really inspiring, and if you go on the TED Talks website and you listen to a few of them, they will rebalance you to some more links. And through these links and other websites, there's tons of information. So again, on TED Talks, there's different type of segments. So whether it is art and culture, or it is self-improvement, whatever again you want to learn, TED Talks is a good hub that is going to reallocate, like not reallocate, is going to send you on other websites that I find quite interesting. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you guys are watching TED Talks a little bit, and if you're listening to some podcast. I'm really interested in knowing which one you like, which one you listen to, even if it's once, something that you found like quite interesting. I'd be really interested in knowing that. So put that in the comment section in the chat. Next, exchange, discuss. So there's a lot of check out David Allen's TED Talks on productivity. Seriously good. Okay, noted. I will go and check that. Thanks, Mike. So the next one is exchange and discuss. If you want to learn, one of the best resource is other people. All the people around you, whether they are direct, people in your real life, your colleagues, your friends, or people you're meeting at events, whatever, or people on the internet. Forums, for example. So I've been, for example, interested in e-commerce, and I was doing some research on e-commerce, and I found this forum called the Fastlane Forum. And on this Fastlane Forum, there were a lot of entrepreneurs who were talking about e-commerce and how they succeeded, and what were their techniques and all the things that they were doing in order to succeed in their e-commerce business. There's tons of information in the forums. You just have to dig on the internet It's the internet again is a gold mine. Forums is something that people don't necessarily think about really often. I remember my sister when she was, and she's still traveling, but she is often using forums to learn more about the country, about the good things to do in this country, the things that you probably wouldn't think of, whether it is like a few scams in a certain country, things that you have to avoid, or things that you absolutely have to do, some like interesting tips when it comes to saving money, etc. So there's forums for everything, whether it is traveling, whether it is mathematics, whether it is YouTube, whether it is painting, music, obviously tons of forums. So something that people underestimate, but there's so much information on the forums, and it's something that you guys should definitely consider. Networking, this is an obvious one for me. Considering my job, I'm traveling a lot, I'm meeting a lot of different clients, and I am always interacting with people. So networking, when you want to get more information, it's kind of like what I was saying in the beginning. You have to have some fun when learning. You have to set yourself an objective, and you have to surround yourself with people who are more knowledgeable than you. Networking is that. Try to find those people that are more knowledgeable than you, and how to find them is go to events, go to conferences, whether it is an arts exhibition and talk to people around, or it is to going to the VidCon, for example. This is something that I find really powerful. The more you meet people, the more you talk and interact with them, the more knowledgeable you're gonna end up. And finally, I put for you all the online courses. So this is something that is getting more and more used by the new generation learning on the internet. I put few websites. I'm gonna show that to you right now. So let me go to my internet. And I'm gonna start with this one that some of you who are watching YouTube often, you might have seen. These guys are sponsoring a lot of videos on quite a few YouTube channels, Skillshare. Um, Technically, you've got, if I go here, browse, this is all the categories. I don't know if you can see properly. This is all the categories of courses that you can find on their website. Sorry, checking the chat a little bit before going a bit deeper on this. Every day at breakfast, Jenny says that she's listening to podcast TED Talks in the evening when I have extra time. Yeah, mostly about personal development, relationships, and ecology. Oh yeah, ecology is a big topic too, and actually it's a good idea. I'd like to learn more about that. Um, mm, So hey Blue Line, how are you, mate? It's fine. You can have your humor. I'm okay with that. So okay, now it's like Martin is going with this humor. So Lisa is saying that she's using Skillshare. Do you mind, Lisa, putting in the section what have you learned on Skillshare? Like, is there any course that you would recommend? Which one did you look at, and where did you first heard about it? So going back to Skillshare and all the other websites, the traditional education, going to school, is good and bad. Good because it teaches you how to learn. Technically, it teaches you to be structured, to be organized, to respect a timetable, and to keep on studying. This is something really good, and I'm not saying that kids shouldn't go to school. Obviously they should go to school, but something that I wish I had known, and it's not because of my parents, obviously, because this is quite new now, but this is a really powerful tool that the new generation have now. It is these online courses websites where you can technically select whatever you want to learn. So let's say I am going to let's say, I don't know, something that no one knows about, writing. I don't know if people are writing here. Writing, you've got different type of courses. So some you can subscribe to these websites. It's not that expensive, to be honest. or you can buy the courses one by one. There's also some free websites, and I think I've got one or two that I want to show you. But I don't know. First one is let's say creative, write the truth with the style. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about this one, but let's just click on it. Okay, this one seems to be free. So you've got technically the whole course, the introduction, you can see on the side, research, reporting, elements of a story, dialogue, and quotes, description, everything. And it's like an hour and 50 minutes long. And obviously, you're not going to learn everything from this course, but I'm sure that after this hour and 50 minutes, you will still remember quite a few things. So definitely something to consider, these type of websites like Skillshare. You've got others like Udemy. I've got no idea how to pronounce that. I'm still French, right? So American people put that in the comments. How do I pronounce that? Udemy. Anyway, this is another one, and again, you got like really cheap courses. And let's look at the front page. Complete Python bootcamp. Python is a language coding and programming language. You can learn about it for like £13. They've got a special offer currently. So it is really good actually to have this type of content that are so cheap now, where you can learn a lot of things. If you combine the YouTube tutorials and this type of websites, this is really powerful to learn pretty much everything. Again, um, whether it is painting, programming, or YouTube or whatever, you got a lot of things here now online. Just to show you the rest, Khan Academy is another one which is pretty cool. Again, look at all that. So this is more for maybe for kids or younger, the younger part of my audience. If you guys want to learn about geometry or algebra, arithmetic, um, biology, chemistry. You've got even like GMAT for those of you who are going down the road of a master's degree or an MBA. You might be requested to have the GMAT, and GMAT is something I took in the past, and this is something that is quite hard to take. And you have to study about it, and you've got courses here to make sure that you succeed at this exam. Macroeconomics or economics college, pretty much everything, guys. I'm not gonna go through everything again. LinkedIn used to be lynda.com, and now they partnered with LinkedIn. So I guess LinkedIn probably bought those guys. So again, tons of content here. I'm gonna go back on the main window here, me. So this is pretty much it. If I go back to my PowerPoint, that's the end of it indeed. So all these together, this is what I do for this YouTube experience. I've been using most of the things that I have been actually showing you today. So I would recommend all of them, combine them, use them wisely when you're traveling, read or use an audiobook or whatever. Guys, just so much information. You can do whatever you want, whether it is learning music, painting, etc. um, Definitely recommend to do that. So tell me, I'm gonna interact a bit more with you now. Tell me, guys, if you heard about these websites like Skillshare and Udemy, and all those websites. If you ever use them, how do you? So Genevieve told us that she was using tutorials. What are you using also for your painting? Are you using any book? Any have you talked with other people? Same for you, Crazy Dad. How did you learn about music? Did you learn when you were younger? Are you still learning new stuff now? And if you do, how do you do? Like, do you just exchange with other pianists, or do you watch videos? Do you, I don't know, how do you improve your technique? Do you improve your technique? Do you read about music? Um, Lisa, let me check. I learned a lot about music production. Oh yeah, Martin. So Martin is music. producer, so he's doing a lot of music. I would encourage you to go and check his YouTube channel, but also all of his music that he's posting on his Instagram, and on Twitter also, and Facebook, and pretty much everything. And yeah, I'm sure Martin is going to get big, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on. Um, so So Craig says that he was forced to it as a kid and he hated it. Okay, but probably at some point you ended up liking it. Well, I guess so, because you wouldn't be playing piano otherwise today. And Blue heard about Skillshare. Is it something, Blue, that you would consider, taking in account that those Skillshare, the prices are not that bad, for a course. You can have, you can pay like £25 maximum, sometimes even cheaper, for one course of like 2 or 3 hours. And there's definitely things to learn there. And Genevieve is plugging her Instagram account. Way to go. So let me catch up a bit on the chat, guys. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, just going back on Martin. So you say you love Udemy, mixing, mastering, and game design. Okay, and on Udemy, like, do you spend a lot of money on it? What's your budget? Maybe like is it per month, or maybe you bought it just once and then you learned a lot of things and that's it, or is it something that you do like regularly still? How do you use Udemy? Maybe it would encourage people to also use this type of thing if they want to learn new stuff. Okay, now talking about me. Mm-mm. So one thing also I wanted to talk about, coming back to the Crazy Dat project. I learned a lot, and all the things I said. I started to talk to Martin, Martin, who is currently in the chat. So I sent him an email because I saw on his YouTube channel and Instagram that he was doing some music. He was producing some music. So I had no idea about the music industry. It's something that I do play a bit of guitar and I do listen to music, but when it comes to learning how to record an album, and I wanted to start to prepare this project for Craig, I had no idea what to do. So I sent an email to Martin and asked him like a few questions, what are the things that I should know when it comes to recording an album. So I networked with him. I engaged, sent him an email, a bit blunt, but he responded and he was like really, really helpful. Then it helped me to prepare the meetings and the phone calls I had with the recording studios, and then I went to see them. I went to see Adam from Iguana Studios, and again I had another chat with him. He explained me how it was working, what they were doing. He showed me everything. He showed me around, and I learned a lot about the music industry, things that I didn't know, and not that I am going to use that later. I am kind of like going to use it with Craig, but it was quite easy in the end by interacting with other people to learn about the music industry. So again, it is the same for all of you who wants to learn. And again, there's no age to learn new stuff. It's not because you're 50 or 60 that you should be like complaining and moaning about your life and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not motivated. I'm not where I want to be in my life. I want more. I want to learn about this. I want to have like these skills. I wish I could do this or that." If you wish you could do this or that, then you already have an objective in mind. You already have this motivation. Then you just have to start having fun by learning and using those tools that I just talked about today. Anyway, guys, I am going to leave you for today. I see that People getting a bit silent on the chat. So thank you for joining me today. I will do one live chat every end of the month. I will try to do one per month, and I will see you. Got 80-year-old puppy. Yeah, there you go. So Craig is saying that he's got an 80-year-old pupils. So he's got, well, several, I guess. See, there's no age to learn, no age to educate yourself, no age to reach your dreams. You can do it. The only thing you need is motivation. And how to get motivation? Well, fun, objective, and watch Press Start with Marc. I hope it helps. I hope it gives you this little kick in the ass or little boost to start learning about something that you maybe have been postponing for way too long. And again, I will see you next week with another video. Thanks for plugging in. Thanks for being here and supporting me every single week. Thank you guys and see you soon. Bye bye. Now I have to end the stream.